Hey friends, here we are on the next to last day of our big RV road trip, and I want to show you a little bit about the RV we rented. I couldn't find much information about that online when we were considering it, and I really wanted to see what kind of space there is, what kind of storage. So here you go. Here's the unvarnished truth of how we use our RV. And we'll start up here with the front seat. As you can see, driver, a great console with lots of space for water bottles, for cords. This particular model allows you to plug your phone cord straight into the dash. We were able to connect via Bluetooth to listen to music, which we didn't really do very much. And I plan to do a lot of audiobooks, and we didn't do that either, but it was nice to have that option. And then my seat here. We put Stella, our dog bed, right here in the middle between us, and she loved riding right there. And then moving on back, here's the door that you come in and out of. There's a little seat here to the right when you come in. It has good storage underneath, which is largely we use for Stella's stuff going and coming. We also put our little heater down there. And then up at the top, this cabinet that we use for her dog food, and then we put both of our backpack laptop bags up there. So that was a great place for that easy access. Over the door, we called this the garage. This is where the bulk of Stella's stuff went. Her traveling bag, poop bags, her harness, her leash. Tim and Stella are out on a walk right now, so that's empty because they're not here. Then continuing down this side, you got a nice plug here, all the gauges. Some of ours didn't work very well, but there they are. This is a little heater that we brought, a little electric heater, and it was key to our enjoyment of this trip. I'm going to write a post about things that we really loved, and that's one of them, so there'll be more information about that. A gas stove top. I only used it once, but it was nice to have it. Were we traveling longer than that, I think we'd use it a lot more. But a great little microwave, and we use the microwave every day. We used it to heat up milk, coffee, tea, to fix our lunches often, and almost always our dinners. Nice little sink. We brought our own coffee pot, which worked great for us. It was a priority item. And when we're finished with it this morning, we'll just wrap it up in towels and we'll store it actually in this sink for travel. Because, of course, one of the things you got to think about is you don't want items to fall out when you hit bumps, and you also don't want rattling. So that gets wrapped up and goes in the sink. Nice storage up here. This is where the dishes are. And we brought dishes that came with the RV. We did a rental package for the kitchen. Some things we substituted our own, some things we brought of theirs. Again, I'll do a post about that so you can get the details of what we brought and what we left behind. I've got a little food storage up there at the top. And then down below the sink, here under the stove, there are pots and pans. We didn't use very many of those because I didn't do a lot of cooking. We did a lot of microwaving, but that's great storage for those. Primarily, those came with the kitchen package that we decided to rent. This is where we put our easy, quick access stuff, coffee cups, afternoon water, just what we needed quickly right here under the sink. These down here at the bottom are actually not accessible for storage. There's RV stuff in there. And then 3 great little drawers here in the kitchen. In the top drawer, we have silverware, knives, which we brought from home, and scissors. I brought 2 spoons, 2 forks, 2 knives, and that's all we needed, and it worked great. This is a drawer of miscellaneous things that I brought, of which I don't think we used any. Cheese grater, measuring cups. I just didn't do any of that type of cooking. Bottom drawer, this is where we brought Ziploc bags, which we used all the time. Trash bags go in here, right here, easy access, so that worked great. Then moving on around, here's the bed. It is a full-size bed. We were really nervous about what sleeping was going to be like in this RV, and we actually loved it. I did buy a bed topper, a foam topper, and that made it really comfy. We have flannel sheets. We were largely in cold locations, and that made a big difference. Lots of quilts and blankets. Also an electric blanket that was really key on nights that it got really cold. That will go in the must-haves list as well. As to clothes, here's my storage for clothes. It's actually a lot more than I expected, and I was able to fit a lot in there. I rolled up some of my things in those travel bags, which worked really well. The trash bag you see is my dirty clothes, which is getting pretty full as we've been on the road for a while without laundry. This is also my side. So you see I have a lot of warm clothes, some summer clothes, because we moved from location to location traveling out southwest. And then this side is Tim's. He was incredibly generous to me, as he always is, and gave me lots of space. But there's his storage, and then I'll show you what he did with the rest of his stuff as we move on around. But that is the full bedroom. We hung our hats. You got to find interesting, fun places to put everything, and that's where we hung our hats. Here is the bathroom area. You see a great mirror, a great sink, great storage under here. There's where my makeup is, which I didn't wear very much. Tim's bag, my hair dryer, and flat iron down there. Plenty of room down there, which is great. And then this really made a big difference, having a medicine cabinet. So we got a lot of stuff tucked in there. Our toothbrushes. I really loved having my makeup brushes accessible. That's always just a hassle trying to get in and out of a makeup bag when you're moving all the time. That made it really easy. As to the potty and the shower, another fear I had about an RV. Here's the potty, which has worked great. Really not a problem at all. You just carry your bathroom with you, and it's actually really nice to travel with your own bathroom 100% of the time. And then the shower, I actually showered this morning. It's, you know, it's a small space, but if you're a little person and if you're short like I am, it worked really well. Tim tended to shower more in the RV parks. I tended to shower here, which worked great. You just have to turn on the water heater. The only issue is you got to move pretty quickly because you don't have an unlimited supply of hot water, but it worked out fine. And then our towels are hanging here. Okay, looking on the rest of the RV, another great feature is there's actually this hanging closet, which has just been a game changer. It was really great. Largely my shoes are down here. I think Tim might have 1 or 2 pairs, but they're my hiking boots, my short boots, my flip-flops, my bedroom shoes. I used all of those, and I was real happy that I had them. And then in my clothes, I've got jeans in here. I've got a vest. I've got my coat. Just so nice. That made a big difference to have space for that. And let me show you how we use the drawers, how I use the drawers. 3 drawers below. Top drawer is Tim's, so that's where he kept his stuff. And then I had these 2 bottom drawers, and this one, these are my pajamas, some of my underclothes. I brought several scarves, which I've worn a lot. All that went into this drawer. And then the bottom drawer, I have my underthings and my socks. This was full. I put this little divider in, which made a big difference in making that space real usable. But it was so nice to have this accessible and right here. So my tennis shoe socks here, and actually I have my hiking socks in this drawer. And then one of my favorite things is, there still is food, is this drawer that Tim also gave me. And that's where I kept all of my cords. But this magical thing that I didn't know how smart this was, and it was one of the best things that I did. I actually bought this for art supplies. I got it at Michael's, but I used it for all of my toiletries, and it has been great to take in and out of hotels, which we've done a couple of times. We've stayed with friends. In the morning, I just pull it out, and I can stand right there at the sink and get ready, put it right back in here, and everything just tucks away right in the drawer, which is great. So I've really loved having that drawer right there. Here is the refrigerator, which has met our needs just perfectly. There's a good size freezer. We've done a lot of freezer food. As I said, we microwaved a lot for dinner, and we've got things like risotto from Trader Joe's. We found a grocery store that had these great frozen fish entrees up there, so that's what we've got for those. And then ice in the door. In the refrigerator, again, lots of space. We've emptied out a lot because we're at the end of the trip, but space for milk, yogurt. We have, beer, lots of water. We kept water. You want to bring your own water everywhere you go, so it was great to have bottled water. And then just various accoutrements, and in a big old drawer that we've got filled with cheese and turkey for sandwiches. So a really great, very accessible refrigerator, and we love that. This is command central of the RV for us, and it's this great little kitchen table. I sit on this side, Tim sits on that side. Every day we start here in the morning with coffee and planning our day, and then at night I sit here and have a cocktail typically, and so does Tim, and I paint. And Tim plans our next day, checks email, checks the news, all those things. Just a great little space. Above that is where we have stored our food. We've got plenty of room, as you can see. Again, we're also getting to the end, but we've got coffee up here. We've got oatmeal, LaCroix. In my red bag up there, I have lots of jarred foods. I've got pasta sauce, which we actually never used, but peanut butter, some snack bars, that sort of thing, which worked great. Also, this kitchen table, this RV is meant for more than 2 people, although I can't recommend it, but it comes apart and will make into a bed, so that can be used as a bed if you have that many people. And then this crazy, crazy great area up here, you'll see, is actually a queen size bed. It's meant to be a sleeping spot, and it's what's over the cab. And we've used it for storage, which, as you can see, has just been incredible, because we didn't have anybody sleeping up there. But here are, for instance, there are my art supplies. There's a bin that just has extra things, books, playing cards, which we didn't use, as you can see. All my journaling stuff. There's my big camera. There are our towels, extra dish towels. And then here's really where Tim kept the bulk of his stuff. He's got some clothes up there. His dirty clothes bag is up there. His toiletries are up there. And it is deep, so there's another layer behind there where we actually have some bins. So I brought a bin that had extra winter clothes in it. Again, we knew it was going to get really cold where we went, so I wanted my big coat. I wanted hat and gloves, some heavier weight things to wear hiking up there, and it was great to have that put away because I didn't need it all the time. I only need it sometimes, and we were able to access it quickly up there. I've picked up some stuff, like I've got some tumbleweed over there. You might be able to see in the back. I just love tumbleweed, and I think I'd like to have that in my studio at home. So we found some on the road where we stopped and picked it up, and it's tucked safely back there along with some other stuff that I have. So anyway, that is really the tour of the RV. And as I said, it has worked great. I was worried about if there was going to be enough space. There has been plenty for the 2 of us. Stella takes up some space. Here's her dog bed on the floor, as you can see. And we just slide it up there between us for travel and pull it back here when we're settled where we are. And that's really worked out well and given us all, just what we needed in here. So we loved it. We loved renting, which was great. We really liked the size, which was good for us. So much depends on where you're going and what you want to do. But for the 2 of us and for the dog, it's just been a really, really great option for us. I hope you find that helpful. I'm not a professional videographer, so this is my first attempt at this, but I hope it's helpful and it'll help you plan your trip, help you decide that you want to do this. We have had a blast. So go RV.